I'm not perfect, okay? I just asked for a little bit of grace. So I'm gonna be working like 4 screens at once. So let me just say hey to YouTube Live, okay? And then what I'll do is, since I'll be going back and forth between YouTube here and TikTok here, I'll take a moment. I'll when I come to TikTok, I say, okay, TikTok, do you guys have any questions for registered nurses who are wanting to work in tech? So I'm glad you're here, TikTok. I think we had up to like 100 viewers, and like people are joining and coming in and out and everything. So on TikTok, just keep your comments and your questions respectful. I just want to make that clear. I do that a disclaimer in my videos. This is an inclusive and a respectful place, okay? So I welcome all types of people. If you're a registered nurse or not a registered nurse, however you identify, whatever race you are, etc. I just keep everything respectful. So let me just talk to YouTube here a minute. All right. So hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel for YouTube. On this page, I talk about technology and money. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you're new, I ask if you consider liking this video, sharing it, and also subscribing to the channel. And then I have learned, because I'm learning all these new tools, okay? I've learned also that in addition to like subscribing on YouTube, you can also click, there's a bell on my page, and you can click the notification bell. So every time like I go live or I post new content, you'll get a notification, okay? So if you consider, I would appreciate that. And thank you to all the new subscribers. I know when I talk about registered nurses working in tech and things like that, informatics, I know there are there's professors sharing the content with their nursing students. I've heard from nursing students as far away as Hawaii, which is exciting, and nursing professors as far away as California and Hawaii. So thank you, everyone in Utah. I actually heard from a nursing professor out in Utah who has shared videos and content with her students. So thank you, everyone. And also people sharing it with your nursing friends. People will reach out and say, hey, I'm not a nurse, but I have a cousin who's a nurse, or my niece is going into nursing, or she's in nursing school, or I have a friend who works in home health nursing and interested in making a transition. So I'm always very grateful for people who share the content. I get a lot of messages and just hear from folks when I go to conferences and things like that. So thank you. And when you like and share the video, if you like it now, that's great. If you like it later, that's appreciated as well. Liking and sharing the video does two things. Number one, it helps this content reach more people. So it gets it out into the algorithm. So other nurses or other people who are interested in learning about tech, I also talk about money as well, especially like money for women. It helps that content reach more people. Okay, so people, like if you're interested, they may also be interested. And then number two, it also encourages me to keep creating content that you all find helpful. And so if you're just now joining us here on YouTube Live, just to kind of give you an idea how tonight is going to work, I'm live here on YouTube, and then I'm also live over here on TikTok. I have like 4 screens. We're really almost 5. So I have like 4 screens going on. So I just ask for a little bit of grace and patience as I toggle between YouTube. And then if folks on TikTok have questions about being a registered nurse when working in tech, if you guys give me a chance to read your comments and your questions, I appreciate that. And I thank y'all. Okay, so what I'll do is so tonight, so usually guys, if you're new, I talk about both technology and money. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a live Q&A. So again, a couple of videos I posted on TikTok in the past month and a half, 2 months, about being a registered nurse, working in tech, working in informatics for the last 19 years have gone viral in a positive way. And I appreciate that, because I only want to ever go viral for the right reasons or for positive reasons. Okay. So there have been about 90,000 combined views and counting. I have never gone viral before for any reason, so I appreciate that. So it was a reminder to me. I didn't know they were going to hit like that, because usually I post a video on YouTube, it might get 50 views, 100 views, maybe 400. I think I have a video that's at like 1,200. So it usually doesn't get that many views. So to get a video to get like 40,000 views or 30,000 views, that was new to me. But it was a reminder that many nurses, registered nurses, and when I say nurses, I'm not just talking about registered nurses, because I want to be inclusive of licensed practical nurses, licensed vocational nurses, certified nursing assistants. They're all nurses. I always try to keep my content very inclusive. I do know an LPN working in tech, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. So it was a reminder to me when the videos went viral, and I started getting like questions and DMs, and I got a few emails and people like calling folks who have a number, that there are many nurses that are interested in expanding their skill sets, learning new things, having a thirst for knowledge. There are student nurses who want to learn about ways that informatics or tech can impact patient care, career options, continuing education, and so much more. So I got a lot of comments, questions and comments. So I'll start with the comments on the videos that I have posted, and then I'll take like live questions as well as I go. But some people just don't know that nursing informatics is a career path, or nurses working in tech is a career path with a wide range and variety of opportunities. Now, I have been in tech for 19 years. I didn't find out about informatics as a career path until I was 1 year into my nurse practitioner degree. I was going back to school to become an oncology nurse practitioner. I had already completed 1 year of grad school and was getting ready for the last year, and getting ready for clinicals and practicums, and to that, getting to the next step of being a nurse practitioner. And I literally just saw a flyer in my nursing department about, I think it said something like, "Are you a registered nurse who wants to work in tech or interested in learning about tech?" And then it started talking about, it was literal, and I was like, I had never heard of it. So if you're hearing about nursing informatics now, or nurses working in tech, and you haven't started nursing school, or you're in nursing school, or you're a new grad, so congratulations to all the new grads, because I know it is graduation season. So I've already heard from some nurses who have already passed their NCLEX. Congratulations, number one, for graduating. Number two, for passing your boards. I love to hear when people have passed their boards, because people don't understand, who are not nurses, who don't work in healthcare. Graduating and getting the degree is one thing. Sitting for those state boards is a whole other thing. Okay. So I've heard, so like new grad, if you're a new grad, if you're a nurse at the bedside and have been at the bedside for some time, or you're a seasoned nurse, like in home. I actually had a call with a home health nurse about 2 weeks ago. So if you're a home health nurse working in insurance, any other specialty, not tech or informatics, just know that nursing informatics as a career itself has a wide range and variety of opportunities. And when I say that, what do I mean by that? Like, I was at work, I was working in DC earlier this month, and like, I've met a lot of nurses working in tech, but earlier this month, for the first time ever, I met a registered nurse who is an engineer. I had never met a registered nurse who was an engineer. She is an industrial engineer. She started at the bedside, like so many of us did. She got her master's degree in psychiatric nursing, and then she got her PhD in industrial engineering. So she's an engineer, and she now works for a company up in Bethesda, Maryland, and she leads an organization with like 1,700 employees. But her company is responsible for managing large volumes of healthcare data that's used by policymakers, the government, private companies, public companies, all kinds of people, for different reasons, like for research, for actually making the laws, okay, that we healthcare policy, just different reasons. And they have a multi-million-dollar budget, et cetera. So that's why when I say nurses working in tech or nurses working in informatics or STEM careers. It's such a wide variety, from data analytics, visualization, coding, programming. Now, I used to do coding and programming. I don't anymore. Nurses working in insurance companies, nurses working at healthcare startups, or for a private software company. It's such a wide variety and range. And so many questions were left on those TikTok videos, and I've tried to respond to as many people as I could. And it's hard because I do have a full-time job, y'all, and I have a family, and I have a life and things like that. I'm not always online, so I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I've combed through as many messages and comments as I can, and I'm going to try to answer those, as many as I can, within an hour. I didn't want this to go on too long. I know some people do like YouTube lives, and they be on YouTube for like 5 hours. I'd be like, how y'all do that? But those are full-time content creators. I'm not dead. Okay. But anyway, I will try to answer as many questions as I can. So some of the questions, I've already looked at a good amount of them. So some of the questions for nurses interested working in tech that I have received are how to transition from bedside to informatics, job search tips, and what about education? What about certification? What about being a new grad? How to use professional organizations and more. So I'm going to, some of the questions got repetitive, like people left comments, so I'll try to like roll up. And then I also got some questions into my LinkedIn comments and my LinkedIn DMs. And I know I got some questions in my TikTok DMs, but I can't be live on TikTok and go through my DMs, but I will look in the questions that I got in my LinkedIn DMs and share that. And if you're now just joining us on YouTube, I'm live on YouTube here. I'm live on TikTok here. So I just ask y'all for just a little bit of grace and a little bit of patience, because I have like 4 screens going on. I'm a one-woman team right now. Okay. One day I will have my own show hosting, talking about technology and money. I have a team to be able to manage all that. I don't have that yet. So just give me a little bit of grace. Okay. So what I'll do, since there are people here watching on YouTube Live, and welcome if you're just joining, doing a live Q&A, and I see people watching on TikTok, what I would do, Ren K, let me just say hi. I'm glad you're here, Ren. You're interested in transitioning from bedside nursing to tech. Awesome. I started at the bedside, like so many nurses do. I worked at the bedside for 5 years as an oncology registered nurse. Before I get to questions, I just will say to my TikTokers, my TikTokers, if you're on TikTok, on YouTube Live, what I'm going to do is when I start showing how to search for jobs and how to find jobs and things to look for or things to ask yourself as you're reading job, I'm actually going to pull up job descriptions. So if you want to see how to like search for jobs and keywords and things to think about and keep in mind, you'll want to come over to YouTube Live, okay? To my YouTube channel, same name, Computer and Coin, because I'm actually going to be sharing my screen and showing. So that's just to keep in mind. I'll try, if you can't get over to YouTube, that's fine. I'll do my best to like talk you guys through it as I'm showing the folks on YouTube. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so TikTok. Hey, TikTok. Okay, so turn_T says, I'm an RN. I just started a Google certification for data analytics. Girl, you go. That is great. And I'm glad okay, so T turned. I don't know. You are RN. And here's the thing. So T turned. I'll start with your question, your comment, because they I don't know. They make a good point. So T Turn says they just started a Google certification. Okay, yeah. I one reason why I do these, like I make these videos on being a nurse working in tech, how to get started, because I know like there are class, like you can go get a master's degree. You can go take a class. There are books out there. I know there's a professor who just released like a whole series on books, and no shade to her at all. Those books, 4 of those books cost like $500, and not everybody got it like that. And if you can, that's great. But I'm trying to be, and I've said this in my other videos and things, I'm trying to be as inclusive as possible and respectful. So I know, maybe you don't have $500 to, buy a book on nursing informatics standards or take a course right now. And that is absolutely no shade to people who have courses, because you got to get your coins. But T-Turn said that they started a Google certification. So if you're just joining us on YouTube Live, welcome. I'm glad you're here, because I see there's more people here. I'm live on YouTube here, but I'm also live on TikTok. So if you see me going back and forth, I have like 4 screens, and that's why. But T-Turn said they're taking, they just started a Google certification. There's so much you can learn for free or for very low cost, just by utilizing what you already have access to. If you have a smartphone, you're very lucky. And if you are like a new grad, still in nursing school, you guys are so lucky and so blessed. I did not find out about being tech careers as a nurse or nursing informatics until I had been a nurse for like 4 years, and I had already completed 1 year of nurse practitioner school. So, I was already kind of behind the 8 ball. So if you are here, you are so lucky and so blessed, and there are opportunities to learn about being a registered nurse, working in tech careers, etc., that are low to no cost. And T-Turn made a great point and said that they getting a Google certification. So there are things you can learn on YouTube University, Google, a good resource. And I have not mentioned this resource before. LinkedIn Learning. It used to be called lynda.com. LinkedIn Learning, the Khan Institute, has a lot of free courses that you can take, like this. T-Turn is taking a certification for data analytics, cybersecurity, SQL programming, R programming. There are things that you can do that are inclusive and accessible that do not cost a lot of money. They do cost your time though. Okay, so you may not have the cost of money, but you have the cost of time, because you're learning something new. But so thank you so much for that comment, T-Turn. I'm glad you said that. And something else I want to pull out that T-Turn talked about with data analytics. Y'all, let me tell you, T-Turn, you are so smart, because data analytics, and I'm going to take it a step further and say data visualization is so hot. It is such a great field, because if you are at the bedside, like I started at the bedside, like so many of us did. If you are working in an operating room, working in the peri-op arena, working in home health, think about all the places that nurses work that are clinical, your infection control nurse, wound prevention nurse, every single thing that you do in an electronic health system, be it Epic, Cerner, Meditech. Y'all help me. What are some other systems out there? Let's see. Epic, Cerner, Meditech, Allscripts. I know there's some like proprietary clinical systems that you do documentation in. Everything you document. You document a blood pressure. You document a falls assessment. You document, maybe you do a domestic violence screening. Maybe you do a nutrition screening, and you document that in an electronic health system. That is a data point. And any data point in an electronic health record, all can be captured, trended. It can be put into data visualization and that's how hospital leaders, healthcare administrators, business leaders who are involved in healthcare, that's how they make their business decisions. That's how it helps them determine how many more nurses that we need. So when I hear about their staffing system, so if you're like still at the bedside and you use a system to like put your time in to be out, that is a data point. Okay, everything around healthcare can be tracked and trended and put into visualization for reports. So thank you so much, T-Turn, for sharing that. And congratulations to you on your Google certification for data analytics. I know there's a lot of opportunities out there for people who understand data analytics, can do reporting and data visualization. Okay, let me just scroll through the TikTok comments. Okay, y'all just bear with me. And if you're new, you're just joining, welcome to everyone just joining. Please like the video both on YouTube Live, please, and then also on TikTok. If you haven't liked it, please like it because that helps it get out into the algorithm and reach more people. Okay, so someone said they were getting MSN in education and they just switched to informatics. Awesome. Okay, so now let's get into questions. Okay, I'll take another question. Bold Contradiction said, "Hey, Bold Contradiction, welcome." She got or they. I'm sorry, I don't know if you how you identify. I always like to be respectful and inclusive. So, Bold Contradiction said they got a web development certification. Any job suggestions and where to look? Yes. So bold contradiction. I'm glad you're here. I'm also live over on YouTube Live, and here in a few moments, I'm going to be sharing my screen and showing you guys how to search and find positions just to get you started. I can't share on TikTok, but if you are able to come over to YouTube Live, I'm going to share my screen and show you guys how to search for jobs and how to read through job descriptions. So if you're able to, if you're not able to, that's okay. The YouTube Live will be posted later at ComputerandCoin, and then you can go back and watch it later. And I'll try to talk through it as much as possible. Okay, so and then back to YouTube Live. Hi, Timmy, Bolu Tayu. I hope I said your name right. You're a new grad. Congratulations for graduations. You're interested in started in tech. Thank you for doing this, and you are welcome. Okay, y'all. Now, what I'm going to do is start pulling up the questions I got from my TikTok videos that went viral, because I was able to respond to some questions, but not all of them. So I was like, okay, let me just do a live and go through as many as possible. And then in between that, I'm going to also make sure I look at the comments and see what you guys are asking. Okay. So I got a lot of questions. This one is from Dr. Nurse 3. And they want to know, to get more information on how do I start? Okay. How do you, if you're a nurse, and again, I'm inclusive of registered nurses, licensed practitioner nurses, licensed vocational nurses, certified nursing assistants. I want to be inclusive of all nurses because I love my CNAs because they bring a lot of value, and so do LPNs and LVNs. Where to get started? Now, I've done a YouTube video a long time ago on how to get started, but I'm going to say it, and I will say this as many times as possible. The best, in addition to all these tips and doing this video and this live and everything, and welcome to the new folks from TikTok who just joined. Please like the video. I'm glad you're here. The best way to get started, your biggest bang, this is where you will get your most value. The biggest bang for your buck is your network. And if you've watched some of my other videos, you've heard me say that. I'll say it again, and I will always say that. It will always be how to get started and who to talk to and where to go and how to find more information. It's always going to be in the people that you know, and I'll take it a step further, and the people who know you. How do you meet people? I'm an introvert. Like, to even be live and talking to people, and like now when I go to conferences or when I go places, and people go, "Oh, you are a nurse to talk about tech." I'm an introvert. It's very hard for me to talk to people. I'm very shy. But if you're shy like that, don't want to get started, what you can do, get connected into your professional nurses organizations. How do you do that? First, check with your state nurses organization. And let me tell you, when I was first a new grad, I'm like, why am I going to play my state nurses organization to join? Or why would I join the American Nurses Association? And I'll take it a step further. There's another organization called the American Nursing Informatics Association. Now, especially ANIA, American Nursing Informatics Association, they have conferences for nurses working in tech. There's also a conference out in the Midwest called the Nursing Big Data Conference. So the person who made a comment on TikTok earlier saying that they are getting their certification, they're a nurse getting your certification in data analytics, that will probably be an excellent resource for you. It's just all nurses who work in tech. All they do is talk. I've never been to that conference, but I've read great reviews. They talk about big data, data analytics, how to scrub data, how to visualize it, and all of that. But how do you get started? Always will be your network, your professional nursing organizations. Check with your state nurses board, see if they have a nursing informatics council or nursing informatics arm. That's number one. Number two, and I said this before again, but I will always say it again. If you work in a hospital, especially if you work in a major health system, check in your tech department. Sometimes it's called information services. Sometimes it might be IS. Sometimes it might be your IT, information technology department, because especially in the larger hospitals and health systems, there are oftentimes nurses working in those IT departments and no one knows that they are there. Why does no one sometimes know about the nurses working in tech? Because their job titles may not say registered nurse in tech. It might say something like clinical analyst. It might say information analyst. It might be IT professional or something like that, but they're actually a registered nurse. So if you work for a hospital or a health system, ask your nurse manager, if you have a team lead. If your nurse manager is not approachable, try your HR department or your nursing director and ask them, hey, how can I talk to someone in the IT department? Then ask and say, are there any nurses working in tech? Is there anyone in the IT department or IS department that has a clinical background? Because maybe they're not a nurse, maybe they're a respiratory therapist or a pharmacist or a physician, because there is such thing as medical informatics. There are a lot of physicians who work in tech as well. So how do you get started? Your lowest hanging fruit is going to be connecting in with your professional nursing organizations. What are those professional nursing organizations? Your state nurses association, the American Nurses Association, the American Nurses Informatics Association, ANIA, and I'll take it a step further. It's not HIMSS, but the American Medical Informatics Association, AMIA. Now, that is an organization that's actually for physicians who work in tech. Okay, so it's actually for doctors. But the good thing about AMIA, even though it's driven by physicians and by doctors, and I know how some nurses feel like how doctors drive things, but AMIA, American Medical Informatics Association, actually has a nursing and tech organization under them, and they are very supportive of registered nurses, LVNs, CNAs, etc., working in tech. And they have a whole council arm. They do a lot for nurses working in tech, and that is a really good resource. So you can go to their website. So your state nurses board, nurses council, see if your state nurses association, see if they have a nursing informatics council. The American Nurses Association, go to their website. Go to the job board, the American Nursing Informatics Association, and the American Medical Informatics Association. Start there, and then also check with your local hospitals and see if they have any nurses working in the department, and ask them, once you find out if there are nurses working in that department, ask them, can I shadow you? And can I come in and shadow you for like an hour or 2 hours? Or ask them if they can set up shadowing opportunities for you, or ask them, can you just talk to them? Then if they don't have the time, ask them, do you know somebody else who I can talk to? And start there. Okay, so thank you for that question. Okay, welcome to all the new people on TikTok. Okay, so Comforts Oboe, I appreciate the info you're sharing. I've been an RN case manager. Awesome. May pivot to informatics. Congratulations. Okay, so I'll take another TikTok question before I go back to the other questions folks had posted, and then I'll take a YouTube Live question. And if you're on YouTube Live, welcome. If you're just joining, please like and share this video, both YouTube Live and TikTok. I'm so glad you're here. Liking and sharing the video helps this content reach more people. And then it also encourages me to keep creating content that you all find helpful. Okay, so I really do appreciate it. Okay, so the question. Okay, there was a question here on TikTok that I saw. Let me give me just a moment to scroll back again. I just asked for some grace. Okay. Where did I see that question? Oh, okay. So Lainey Lexo says you're using the data camp course. Girl, you got data analytics. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's really hot. And you'll see once we start looking at the job postings. Oh, okay. So Mommy Apps 5 asks, are there certifications that you suggest to get to stay competitive in the tech industry? Yes, there are. So Mommy Apps 5, I don't know, because there's so many different avenues for nurses working in tech, like the folks doing data analytics. I'm in management now, cybersecurity, engineering, etc. So I'm not sure. I'll just take it as a general question, since I'm just not quite sure which specific field in tech. So just generally speaking, in terms of certification, so the American Nurses Credentialing Center, so ANCC, if you've been a nurse for a while, you're familiar with ANCC. They're the same nursing organization that does the certification for like wound nurse certification, emergency nurse certification, med surg nursing certification, obstetric certification. But the ANCC, American Nurses Credentialing Center, also has a informatics nurse certification. I am ANCC certified in informatics nurse, and I have been since 2011. So that I'm just generally speaking about certifications, since they're different certifications you can get. Like the person who commented earlier, I think it was T-Turn, said that they're getting their certification in data analytics. So just generally speaking, ANCC has an informatics nurse certification that is widely well received. That is a good place to start. Now, if you want to become ANCC certified in informatics nursing, they do have like requirements, just like any of the other nursing certifications. So like med surg nursing certification, obstetric nurse, psychiatric nurse, they require you, just like those other certifications, to be working in the field for a while. I can't remember the number of hours of working in tech that they require for the informatics nursing certification. And then just like the other ones, they also have a test that you take, and then you have to renew like every 5 years. If you are interested in the ANCC informatics nurse certification, I will say, and this is not an endorsement, I'm not getting paid, but there is a nursing informatics boot camp certification class that is put on by 2 registered nurses. They have been doing it. They have been doing that. It's like Dr. Carol Bickford, and there's the other nurse, and I cannot remember her name, but they have been doing this nursing informatics boot camp since like the late 90s, early 2000s. They're like they're like 2 of the OGs of nurses working in tech. And what they do is they travel the country. They go to like different hospitals. Sometimes they'll set up like in a hotel conference room, and they do like, it's about like a 2.5 day nursing informatics boot camp. If you're getting ready to sit for the nursing informatics certification, or you're thinking about it, they teach you how to take that test. I have taken their nursing informatics boot camp twice. I drove up to Richmond and took it, and then I drove down to Charlotte, North Carolina to take it. And the first time I took their nursing informatics boot camp, or nurses working in tech certification boot camp, I was getting ready to sit for my certification. And if you tell them that, because some people just go to their nursing informatics boot camp because they want to learn more, and they don't charge a lot. They give you like books, they give you tons of resources. But if you tell them that you are about to sit for your nursing your ANCC informatics nurse certification, they will teach you. They will show you how to take that test. Because there was a couple of folks like me, and you're gonna sit for that certification. This is what you need to know. This is how you need to read those questions. This is how. And I learned this after the fact, they also help write questions for that informatics nurse certification. So that's a good resource in terms of certification. Okay, then someone said there are so many different fields in tech. Cloud technologies, yes, cloud is very hot. Amazon Web Services, very hot. Cybersecurity, analytics, software. Is there a way to know which ones would be good for the long term and know which one is suited for me? Okay. So is there a good way to know which one? Now this is just, did I give this disclaimer at the beginning of my video? I didn't. Let me do it now. I always ask people, please don't believe everything I say. Okay. I have been an informatics nurse for 19 years, but I always tell people, please do your due diligence. And that's with just anything that you come across online or TikTok, especially on TikTok, because I know, folks have you buying stuff, buying like courses and things like that. Or buying products off of Amazon. Just always good to do your diligence. So Ren asks, is there a way to know which ones will be good for the long term? I would say you can look at the trend. So there is a resource called Becker's, and I read Becker's every day, and it's called Becker's Hospital Review. And so Becker's does a really good job of letting you know what is hot in healthcare tech. And they have like different newsletters and things that they can send directly to your inbox. I read Becker's every day because they send you a digest of what's hot in healthcare tech. And they not just tech, but they also cover like cloud, cybersecurity, analytics, application design, all kinds of things, the news, what health system just got hit because their healthcare technology wasn't up to date and they got hacked. I would say look at Becker's Hospital Review and see, just look around their website or sign up for some of their newsletters and get a sense of what the trends are, because all of those are hot right now. Everything that you mentioned in your question, they are all hot. I can't say which will be good for the long term, but you can look and Becker's is just one of many resources. Becker's is just one I use very often, every day. I'll read it every day. Cloud is hot, Amazon Web Services, because I know a lot, especially like the larger health systems and hospitals are moving their applications and their software from being on-prem, like being in a data center that's like based at the hospital or like at a data center that's a couple of miles from the hospital, to going on into the cloud. So Amazon Web Services, I know Amazon is hiring, they're hiring for their healthcare arm. Amazon Healthcare, they're hiring and things like that. So I know cloud, AWS or Amazon Web Services is very hot, but so is cybersecurity, so is data analytics. And know which one is suited for you. The best way I would say to see what's best suited for you is, if you can, find people who work in all of those specialties. Because I'll say it again, so y'all won't get tired of me saying it. Your best and your richest resource are always going to be people. So if you can find a nurse, and they don't always have to be a nurse, someone who's working in cloud technologies, and talk to them and take it a step further and ask them, hey, can I come shadow you for a day? And if they say, oh, we're not accepting in-person shadowing opportunities, don't take that as don't be discouraged by that. Ask them, okay, well, can you set up some virtual shadowing for me? I've done it for folks, okay? Because I know, like with everything that's happening in the last 2 years, some companies are doing shadowing experiences, but they may not be doing it in person, and they're doing like virtual shadowing. So ask those people in cybersecurity, in application development, can you shadow them, or can they set up shadowing opportunities for you, and talk to them and get a sense. That will help you get a sense before you commit to cloud, or before you spend money on a certification or like on a course pack, or before you go buy like a book, because those books aren't cheap, before you go buy like a $200 book. Your richest resource is always going to be people. Okay, so welcome to the new folks who are new, just now joining the YouTube Live. I'm live on YouTube. I'm also live on TikTok. So if you just joined in the last few minutes and missed my last announcement, I just ask y'all to give me a little bit of patience and grace, because I am flipping back and forth between like 4 screens. I'm one woman team tonight. Won't always be that way, but I am tonight. Okay, so let's see. Questions from TikTok. You're very welcome. So much valuable information. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad it's helping. Trying to be inclusive as possible. So you're welcome. Okay, so all right, so let's take another question from the video. Let me do a quick time check. Okay, 40 minutes. Okay. I said I wasn't gonna be one of those people do like a 5-hour YouTube live. I don't know how people do those. Yeah, have y'all ever seen someone do like a 5-hour live? I have. And I'm like, how in the world? This one was a good one. Okay, so she's darling asked, can you do this as a new grad? Now I got this question a lot. And it repeated. And I'm just gonna be honest. I love new grads. Okay. I would not recommend. This is just my opinion. I always tell y'all, don't take anything I say and just run with it. Always do your diligence. I would not recommend new grads go directly in tech, like straight from nursing school into working in tech. And I'll explain why. And now, when I first started working in tech, this was many years ago at a company, they required at least 5 years of nursing experience. Not all companies are like that. Just know that there are some companies out there that will take someone with maybe a year of experience or 2 years of experience. This is honest. I would not recommend going into tech as a new grad, and it is for valid reasons. Because when you become a nurse informatician, or you start working in tech, or maybe you're working for a company that does design for healthcare systems that nurses will be using for documentation, etc., you really need to have that good baseline understanding of that you get from working at the bedside. Okay, because like if you're designing something, for example, let me give you an example. So like in my first position when I started working in tech, one of this I worked in with an application software system for oncology, because I was an oncology nurse, and part of my job was built every time like the new chemo medications came out, or if there were like new oncology protocols. I had to build those medications in the system. I had to do the back end coding for those medication calculations. So if you're used to working in electronic health records, when you go to enter in a medication or you scan a medication, you scan the patient's armband, or the drip calculations are already done for you. I was the nurse on the back end doing the coding and programming for those drip calculations. So there are certain things when you are doing configurations on the back end, you really need to have that good baseline understanding, have the years of experience under your belt for configuration and programming. That's just my opinion. You need to have an understanding of workflow analysis, because like when you're designing new systems or you're designing new configurations, or you go, maybe nurse leadership or nurse manager comes to you and say, hey, I need something built in the system that will allow my nurses to better document their falls assessments. I'm just giving an example. As an experienced nurse, you know the end to end when you do a falls assessment or when you do a drug calculation. Like there are certain things when you're building a workflow or you're designing an electronic health record, you know certain steps in your workflow you wouldn't, as you're designing and coding, you would not code doing a pressure ulcer assessment where you put the dressing on before you've actually assessed the wound. That type of thought process actually goes into the back end of coding and just knowing like the step-by-steps and understanding how nurses work the bedside. And I just find that new grads don't have that knowledge. Now they have a very smart and they have a lot of knowledge. But I would not recommend, and it just goes back to the question that she's darling asked, how can you do this as a new grad? I don't know of any company that hires new grads. I would not recommend new grads. When I first started working in tech, I had 5 years of experience in the job. The tech company that I worked for required nurses to have at least 5 years. And our orientation process was long. I was on orientation for a whole year. It wasn't like a 6-week orientation. It was literally a full 12-month orientation because you're literally learning something new. So I would not recommend it for new grads. Okay. All right. So welcome to the new folks who just joined. If you're just joining on TikTok or YouTube Live, please do like, the video and share it if you can. Liking the video helps it reach more people. I'm taking questions live on YouTube, live on TikTok, and I'm also going through questions that people have asked on a couple of videos that I posted about being a registered nurse working in informatics that have gone viral. So let me just do a quick TikTok check. Okay, any questions on TikTok? Okay. All right, so let me take my next question from the so I may have to do a part 2 Q&A because I said I was not going to go past an hour. I did not want to do like a 5-hour or a 3-hour live, and I see I'm running up on 45 minutes. I didn't realize because I had so many questions it was going to take me long. Okay. All right, someone said, Kristen Michelle, RN said, before you know it, we'll not only be responsible as the RN, phlebotomist, nutritionist, the aide, the physical therapist, will also be coding the patient's electronic medical record. Kristen, it's already working. I mean, it's already happening now. I work with nurses right now, not on my team, but who are actually, their full-time job is coding. They're programmers, so it's already happening. So this was a good one. So Lady Trey 01 asked, can LPNs or licensed practical nurses do this? The answer is yes. I do know of some LPNs. Now, again, there's so many for tech. Informatics is such a wide range of positions. I do know of some LPNs right now working in tech informatics. So informaticians, they are LPNs, and what those LPNs are doing, they're actually working in artificial intelligence. Okay, they're actually working in AI, and they're working. So, and when I say AI, they're working in digital health, and they're working with telehealth software. So, like with artificial intelligence that does like predictive analytics, predictive modeling, different predictive analysis. So yes, I do know of LPNs who are working in tech, and those LPNs that I know are working in digital health specifically. They are working in artificial intelligence, and also there are. I'll take it a step further. There are other AI healthcare applications. There's some that do falls assessment. I did meet when I went to the nursing and tech conference in April. I met a nurse from California who's working in AI, and she's working with wound software that's using artificial intelligence to do predictive analysis around like pressure ulcers. And that was a first for me. And she was working with a really cool software and some really cool technology that also was using AI, but that was also using like cameras and things like that. Okay. All right, going through the questions. Okay, I already talked about how to get started. Okay, so someone asked, Michelle Luna asked, anything for respiratory therapists? So this live was specifically for nurses, but I will answer the question since someone asked. So I have heard, I do know of physical therapists and also occupational therapists working in tech or working in informatics. But not necessarily respiratory informatics. So if you're on the live and you are not a nurse interested in working in tech, the best recommendation I would say is to check with your professional organizations, go to their websites, do like searches and go from there. But I wanted to do this live specifically for my nurses. Okay. Someone asked, do you need experience? I would say my opinion is yes. I would say at least a couple of years of experience. Okay, questions. Okay, I've already talked about LPNs. Okay. So, okay. Sanade, hope I'm saying your name right. Sunday asked, what's the pay range? $200,000 a year, part-time, etc. Now the pay, I will say I got a lot of questions about what's the pay like. What is the pay? People want to know the pay, and I get it. The pay range really depends on different things. It depends on your years of experience. So because some jobs will look at that and say, oh, you have 5 years versus you have 10 years. Your pay range will also depend on if you have any certifications, whether that's the informatics nurse certification, any cybersecurity certifications as a nurse, cloud. We talked about the nurse said that they're getting their certification in data analytics. It depends on that. It depends on your location. So if you're like in Minnesota versus Florida versus New York versus California versus Seattle, Washington, the pay range can vary. Depends on the role. It also depends on your ability to negotiate. And so I did a video earlier this week about negotiating. It was specifically for Black women in tech, but it actually applies for all women. And there was some new data that just came out last week, and it was talking about how women are less likely to negotiate salaries. So anytime you see it, this is a gem for y'all. Anytime you see a salary, know that salary is negotiable. Everything is negotiable. You can negotiate different things in addition to pay, but also like your schedule and if you're hybrid versus remote versus on-prem or on-site. So it depends also on what you negotiate. So I have seen, this is just a range. Please do not take this as Computer and Coin said the range is this. Just know that it can vary. I've seen anywhere from 60K. Again, it's a range. It depends on the things I just mentioned. 60K all the way up to like mid six figures. And again, it depends on like the role. If you're in leadership, if you're working at a startup that also offers equity, because sometimes your equity and stock benefits also counts as money, right? So it can vary. The pay can vary. Okay, it's so wide. Okay. All right. So I am gonna let me do a quick time check. I am gonna make sure I show for the folks here on YouTube Live. I am gonna make sure I share my screen because I did get a lot of questions about how to find the jobs. How do I find the jobs? I want to make sure I do that before I end. So I just want to make sure I get to that. And if you're on YouTube Live, if you have a question, you could drop the question. I can at least see it a little bit easier than I can on TikTok because TikTok has a tendency to scroll and then it goes away and I can't see it anymore. Okay, so Shug asks, do I do any mentoring? I do mentoring, but only through my company. I don't do mentoring. I know there's some folks who like have programs and courses that you can sign up and do mentoring like that. I only do mentoring through my job, or if like one of my leaders asks, can you mentor someone or can someone come shadow you? But they have to go through like my organization because my organization does like background checks and they do a little bit of that. So I do mentoring, but typically only because if it comes through like professional channels like that. I have not done any mentoring yet for just like folks on social media. I have not done that yet. Someone said, can you help me get a job? Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. So this was a good one. So Ash 80565 asks, do I have a master's degree? Yes, I do. I actually have 2 master's degrees, but and this was a good question because I do not want that to discourage anyone. You do not, and I'm talking to YouTube Live and I'm also talking to TikTok. You do not need a master's degree as a nurse to work in tech. I want to make that or informatics or STEM. I do. I have a master's degree in nursing informatics and I also have a master's degree in clinical informatics. However, I know nurses. I work with nurses right now who have a bachelor's degree. I know nurses who have ADNs, and I've already talked about the LPN. So I don't want people to be discouraged and feel like it's not like a position in tech or informatics is not accessible to you because you do not have a master's degree. Please do not let that discourage you or let that stop you from searching for opportunities. I work with nurses, right? I know a nurse right now who's a nurse leader in informatics, and they lead a team and they have a bachelor's degree. So you do not have to have a master's degree. And I want to make that very clear. There are opportunities out there for nurses who have bachelor's degrees. Okay. And okay. Okay, someone says, so Hi Kitty says she's a clinical informatist. They got their master's degree in nursing informatics, but recently transitioned to business intelligence. Wow, that's great. BI, business intelligence, business analysis, business analyst, excuse me. That is a great, again, that goes back to the person who was talking about earlier that's getting their certification in data analytics. Business intelligence is good. That's a good field as a nurse to then transition into, because as I said earlier, every data point that you put into an electronic health record, a scheduling system, etc., can be then pulled into a report, a graph, data visualization. That's how business leaders make decisions. That's how nurse managers and hospital administration decide how many nursing positions, how many FTEs. And you say, oh, there's not a nursing shortage, but okay. I won't get all into that, but I will just say business intelligence is a great field. And there are, I don't want to get into the nursing shortage and things like that. There is one, but there are people. Let me just move along because I don't want to get into that. But business intelligence is great. Okay. Okay, someone said, what's my opinion about cyber technology? And I wasn't sure if they were talking about cybersecurity, cyberkinetics, cloud computing, or something else. I'm not sure about that. But just know, let me go back to the business intelligence just a little bit more. Just know that everything you enter into a EHR is a data point and can be used for information. Okay, so let me do a quick time check. Okay, cool. Okay, so let me go to the next video. Wow, I really only made it through one video, and there's like 10 with so many questions. I apologize, y'all. I didn't think it was going to take this long. I'm trying not to. Okay, so all right. So someone asked, ibuprofen as what can a nurse do in the field of informatics? They are interested in exploring this career path. So I created a video with 5 actual job titles of nurses I know right now working in tech. But if you missed that video, you haven't seen it, I did it on TikTok. I'm going to, let's see, let me find it. I'm going to give you guys, these are actual job descriptions, and I'm going to share my screen. But these are actual job titles for nurses who are working in tech. Okay, so the first job title, and this goes to like if you're looking for a job. Let's see if I can get it to come up on the screen. Okay. So sometimes the job titles might be a team lead or technical lead. Sometimes you'll see a job title as an application analyst. So again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier about if you're working at a hospital or a health system, and oftentimes there are nurses working in the IT or IS department and no one knows they're there. That's because their job title doesn't have nurse in it. So they may have a title of like a team lead. Their title may also be application analyst. It might be business analyst. Those are 3 job titles. Let me go through. Let's see. There are a few more that I put in this video. Just bear with me. Okay, IT manager. So that's the job title. Again, but it doesn't have nurse in it. So that's why I say don't get caught up in titles and things like that, y'all, because the title of the job may not always reflect, the person who's actually in that role. IT risk manager. I know a nurse who works in IT risk manager, and in her position, she is the nurse responsible. She works a lot with the cybersecurity analyst and ensuring that like ethical hackers and that the data is safe and the patient data is safe and things like that. Another job title. I think I gave one more in this video. I thought there was another one. Okay, Chief Nurse Informatics Officer, but that's like an executive type position. But I did 2 videos on that. I did a video on YouTube and I also did a video on TikTok. Okay, let me see. I'll pull up one more video and go through some questions and comments that I got. And then I will share my screen. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. for the folks on YouTube Live that want to see how to look for job descriptions, and for the people on TikTok, I'm going to, if you go over to YouTube Live, if you're able to, thank you everyone for the 1,700 likes. Thank you so much. I really do. I really do appreciate everyone who joins the live, who shares the content, who likes the video. It really does help this information get out into the YouTube algorithm. So wow, thank you for 1,700 likes. I really, really do appreciate it. Okay, I already talked about LPNs. Okay, so I got a question, and I promised this person who sent me a message into my DMs on LinkedIn that I would make sure I answered her question in this video. Okay, so she asked, so this person is a nurse practitioner part-time in Maryland and looking for ways to get into healthcare IT. And they wanted to know if there are any internship opportunities or entry-level opportunities. So now I'm going to transition, if you're on YouTube Live, into sharing my screen. So before I share my screen, y'all, for my YouTube Live people, oh, and welcome to the new people who have joined. I know people are coming in and out. So thank you. Welcome. So glad you're here. Please like and share this video. I appreciate it. It helps it get out and reach more people. Tonight, we're talking about nurses who are interested in working in tech, doing the transition. And then I'm also live over on TikTok. So for my YouTube Live people, do you have any other questions before I start? Because once I start sharing my screen, it really... okay, I got my first bomb. Spammer, I'm gonna have to block somebody. This is what I really do try to keep my videos and comments and questions respectful. This is an inclusive environment. I don't care where you're from, if you're RN, LPN, LVN, CNA. This is for all nurses, all backgrounds, all abilities. I only accept people who are respectful in my comments. Okay, I don't tolerate any disrespect. I'm not gonna argue with you. You will get blocked. Okay, you're not gonna come over here and bully people or talk mean or say crazy off the wall. We don't do that over here. I just don't. Okay, and that's just for all people. Okay, so for my TikTokies, oh, my niece is on here. I just always supporting you the way. Go TT. I love you too, boo boo. I love you, my boo boo. Okay. All right, so folks on YouTube Live, I'm going to share my screen. Let me make sure. This is how, and I'm going to make this the last thing. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to find positions. And I'm going to just show you 2 websites, okay? But know that there are so many more, so many other job search platforms. This is not inclusive. Okay, but I'm just going to share some tips, and it's kind of hard once I start sharing my screen. I'll try to see if you guys have any comments as I'm showing things and clicking through. So still do ask your questions. I'm going to try to make sure I see them. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Oh, that's not big enough. Is that big enough? Can y'all see that? If you're on YouTube Live, can y'all see that okay? How does that look, y'all? Okay, that look okay? All right. Maybe I should do it like that. Oh, okay. Doesn't make a difference. Okay. So TikTok, YouTube, just bear with me. TikTok, folks, if you're on TikTok, on YouTube Live, same name, Computer and Coin. What I'm doing is I'm about to show folks, nurses, for folks who are interested in trying to find job positions. So I can't share on TikTok, but this live will be posted on the YouTube page, and you can always come back and watch it later. Okay. And I'll try to explain to you guys what I'm doing over on this other screen as best I can. So still do ask your questions. And again, thank y'all so much for this over 1,700 likes. Wow. I think this is the most likes I've ever gotten on a live. So thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate it. Okay, folks, on YouTube Live. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so y'all can see my screen. So the first place, I'm going to say it again. This is not inclusive. One of the first places you can start. This is I always try to go, where can I get my biggest bang for my buck? Start with LinkedIn. If you do not have a LinkedIn page, just momentary pause. Let me take a drink, some water. You don't have to have a LinkedIn account to search for jobs, but it helps because LinkedIn jobs once you have your own LinkedIn page, and I know there are people out there who say, buy my course, $5, $10. I'll show you how to find jobs on LinkedIn and things like that. But you don't have to have a LinkedIn profile or page. But if you have a nice LinkedIn profile and you're searching for jobs and applying for jobs, if your profile is active on LinkedIn, some companies have this thing called Easy Apply. It makes it so much easier to apply for a position because it pulls information and data from your LinkedIn profile. So you don't have to like type the same things over and over again. And the recruiter or the company can see your information right from your LinkedIn page. And there are people out there who shows you how to set up professional LinkedIn pages. Now, some people charge, but as I like the person who said earlier, who they're getting their certification in analytics, there are YouTube channels that show you how to make a nice nice LinkedIn page, and they don't charge anything because I know that everybody ain't got it like that, and we are going into a recession. And I'm trying to make this as inclusive as possible and show you guys how to do things. If you don't have the extra coins, and trust me, I get it. Okay, so LinkedIn. So I'm doing this as if I did not have a LinkedIn page. So on LinkedIn Jobs, so they have this thing called Jobs. And once you go to the LinkedIn website, click on Jobs. You can search for job titles. You can also search for companies, and you can also search by location, right? So if you like in a big area like Seattle, Washington, you can say only show me jobs, or like I'm in Seattle, only show me jobs within a 25-mile radius of Seattle, or you can set your radius. Here's the thing I want to show you guys like that. So can y'all see that? Okay. All right. So let me share is it sharing again? Okay, it is. Ooh, you're gonna struggle streaming a little bit. Okay. So here's the thing about jobs. I know like there are companies like Amazon are currently hiring people with clinical backgrounds. I know CVS Health has a lot of current positions. I think Walmart does, Google does. I'm not endorsing any of these companies. But say if you don't know any companies that you may be interested in, but that's just something to keep in mind. If you're thinking, oh, I think I want to work for CVS Health. I'm a registered nurse. Let me see what CVS has. You can do that. You can just search for positions by CVS. And again, I know CVS Health has a lot of positions right now. They're actually like they're on a hiring spree for nurses, but that's just an example. But say if you don't know any companies, here's where you're going to get your bangs big. 2 keywords. And this, again, these are just a few keywords to get you started. You're a registered nurse, interested in working in tech, search for informatics. I'm going to type in informatics. Hopefully y'all can see that. And when I did that, you see, I'm not signed into LinkedIn at all, but look at all these different specialties under informatics that came up. Informatics specialist, health informatics, clinical informatics specialist, informatics nurse, public health informatics. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Oftentimes there are nurses working at these companies and in these tech positions, and no one knows they're there because nurse is not in their job title. And welcome to everyone on TikTok. I'm doing a screen share over on YouTube Live. So that's why I'm going to be mostly focused on this screen. So let's just pick the first one and see what comes up. And I didn't want to do that city. Let's say Los Angeles. Ooh, I can spell. All right, let's do that. And you can see all these 216 positions just for that keyword or informatics came up. That's a lot of positions. You can see sometimes they'll tell you if it's remote. You can turn on job alerts. Now, turning on job alerts when you're searching for a position, turning on job alerts. This is where it really helps if you have a LinkedIn profile, because when you search for a keyword and you save it and you turn on job alerts, LinkedIn will actually start sending you jobs every day. And let me tell you, companies are posting new positions like every day. Sometimes you'll come out here and you'll search for informatics and it may be like 2,000 new jobs and you're like, oh Lord. But you can turn on job alerts. So Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to click on a random position. Again, I'm not endorsing any of these companies or anything like that. Let's just look at one. I want to see one. Let's just do this clinical informatics specialist system ambulatory. So this one is a full-time. Industries is hospital and healthcare. Let's see, do they require you to be a nurse? Sometimes they do not. Oh, this one does. Oh, this is a good one. So let's read through this one together, y'all. And if you have any questions on YouTube Live, I'm sharing my screen, but I'll flip back in a moment, see if y'all have any questions. So this is a position. Let's see. This is a remote position. So this means remote, like you can work from home or work from wherever. They're hiring a clinical informatics specialist system ambulatory. So they want you to serve as a professional role model in promoting the understanding, integration, and application of IT in healthcare settings. So this goes back to what I was saying earlier, why I recommend folks not new grads, I just think you should have a couple of years of experience, but that's just my opinion. Please don't let that hold you back. There may be definitely some startups out there or other companies that will take new grads, but I just think to know the workflows, it helps, because like in this position, they want someone to promote the understanding of IT in healthcare settings. And if you're a new grad, you may not have that understanding, where if you're a nurse with like 2 or 3 or 5 years or more of experience, this position wants you to act as a liaison between clinical care and IT. They want you to support all caregivers, learning, use, and adoption of optimization of clinical technologies. They want you to support the analysis, design, and implementation. So what does implementation mean? That means helping something go live or bringing something to fruition, evaluating, optimizing, maintaining systems, work in a team environment. Let's see, change management, a comprehensive understanding of clinical process, practice standards, and patient flow and operational processes. So this is why I recommend you have, as a nurse transitioning into tech or informatics, why I recommend you have a couple of years of experience, because I was saying earlier, just understanding the operations, because sometimes when you're in these positions and you may be doing programming or coding and you're building things, there's just things, you know, as a more experienced nurse, you wouldn't do before you do certain things. So competent, they want some competencies there, understanding, that are a foundation of all activities performed by caregivers. Again, this sounds like they're wanting a nurse with a little bit of experience. This is a full-time position. It's a full-time temporary position. This one is like a year. It looks like it's going to last about a year. And they go a little bit more into the education. And I think I did see where they want a nurse. Let's see. They want a bachelor's degree for this one. But as I said earlier, don't let that discourage you. I do know of some companies that will accept nurses, or will take nurses that have like ADNs. And this is something that one of my mentors told me a couple of months ago. Just because you don't have 100% of what a position is looking for, please do not let that discourage you. Do you have like 50% of what they're looking for, 75% of what they're looking for? Still apply, take a chance, and talk with them. You know, if you are able to get an interview and things, you know, talk with them and help them get an understanding of, okay, I may be missing 25% of what you're looking for, but this is what I do have. Because sometimes companies and positions will look at, if you don't have everything that they're looking for, but you may have other knowledge and experience, they will take that into consideration. And so this position does want you to be an RN. Actually, they want someone with clinical experience. It looks like they're looking for a doctor, a nurse, a physical therapist, and that goes to, a respiratory therapist. Somebody was asking earlier, what about respiratory therapist positions? Here's a position right here. And that's even preferred. So they don't even make it a requirement for you to be a nurse, but it looks like they really do want a nurse based on everything. Just from what I'm reading in the rest of this position, they really do want a nurse. Here's a position for a clinical data analyst. Let's see. And this goes to the person who was talking about, this nurse who was talking about, they're getting their certification in certification in data analytics. Let's see. They're not looking for a clinician, but they do want someone who experienced in healthcare. They're looking for, that sounds like they're looking for a clinician. Okay. Or someone just have an understanding. So I think that your nursing experience there will go a long way. And this is just one position. Oh, here's a health informatics analyst. Oh, so here's a range. So the person, I think they were on TikTok asking about what does the job salary range look like. So if you're on TikTok and you're still here, someone was asking about, well, what does the range look like? So this position tells you right off what the range is. The range is what, 80,000. We're really 81,000 to $216,000. Oh, that's a good paying job. Let's see what they want. Let's see. I'm just curious. So you do have to read as you're looking for these positions, just like with any other job searches, you have to read through. Let's see, this one, they want 5 years of experience. So that just goes to, folks who are asking about, can you be a new grad? So this one wants, this position, they want someone who has a little bit of SQL or SQL programming to be able to do that. So it sounds like this person is going to be doing some data analysis and building some reports. Let's see, can you be a nurse? It doesn't ask for a nurse. They don't ask for you to be a nurse, but they're asking for someone who has 5 years experience in a healthcare organization. That would be good for a nurse to me if you have a little bit of SQL experience and able to do that. And also looks like they want someone who has an understanding of some of the Epic modules as well. Here's a clinical informatics analyst. Okay, that sounds like they want someone with a nurse or just understanding. Does not say. Let's see, health. Okay, healthcare data-driven role. So they're not necessarily looking for a nurse. This sounds a lot more technical. Let's see if we can find one, y'all, that's more for like a beginner. So many positions. I think, how many came up? Like 200 is a lot. It's a lot. I was hoping if I could kind of look at a position and say, oh, that sounds like it would be good for someone who is just starting out. Let's see. Clinical support specialist. Let's see what that one looks like. There's the pay range for folks who are asking about what the pay looks like. Oh, now this is one they're looking for an LPN or an LVN. Remember, I think a lot of LPNs were asking me, what about positions for LPNs, LVNs? Here's one. Computer literacy, working with clinical workflows within an electronic health record. So that goes back to that bedside experience. How can you get your clinical workflows? That, to me, you get that from working at the bedside or working with patients. Okay, now this one sounds like it could be a good position for someone who may be starting out. I'm just looking through the rest of the requirements. Maintains confidentiality of all patient information. You do that every day as a nurse at the bedside. PHI, protecting our patients' information. That's one of our one of the things that we do every day. If you're at the bedside or any other patient where you work with patients every day. Maintains working relationships with clinicians, staff, and clinic leadership at assigned locations to ensure consistent delivery of all IT support services. So nurses at the bedside, nurses working in clinical positions. When I read this statement, if you have never worked in tech and the way this is written, you do this every day. You have working relationships with clinicians, physicians, nutrition services, environmental services every day. You have to do that to be able to work with patients. So this is a clinical support specialist one. So this definitely reads so for the folks who were talking about entry-level positions, this one sounds like a good entry-level type position, just reading through the position summary and requirements. And again, I don't know this organization. I'm not endorsing any of them, but folks were just talking about, well, how do I find positions if I'm just starting out? So that's what you do. So that's one resource. That's one keyword. So LinkedIn, jobs. Another thing you can search for is like digital health. Oh, and I wanted to show you when you search for digital health. So you'll see additional keywords and things you can think about as you're searching, which is, it works, use it just like Google. Okay. All right. So here's one. Here's a system analyst position. It doesn't say if it's entry level or system analyst one. Let's just see. Doesn't say it requires you to be a nurse. I'm trying to see this one. I'm just reading through to see if it sounds like it's an entry level, since so many folks were asking about entry level positions. I honestly cannot tell in reading through this one. But the key takeaway, and we can be doing this all night, and I know folks want to get their Friday night started, and I get it, just to give you guys where to start. So that is one resource. And this is 149 jobs just in LA, but you can search for your area. You know, you don't have to do it. I just did this one as an example to show, because folks was like, they just wasn't sure where to start, how to find the jobs. Here's one way you can find the jobs. You can also put in filters on how much you want to get paid. You can put in filters on the job type. Like if you just want to do part-time, you can put in a filter of show me only entry level. So the folks who are asking for entry level, if you don't want to work in person, you want to work remotely, or if you're okay with going into an office, you can put in a filter for that. Hybrid. If you're not familiar with what hybrid means it's a mix. It means like you maybe your position may be 50% you working at home, 50% that you are going into the office. Or it could be sometimes it's 80% you're working at home, 20% you're going into the office or the hospital. Like in my current role where I work in tech, I'm like about 90% work from home, but sometimes I do have to go into the hospital or the clinics to like meet with the nurse managers and bedside nurses to talk about different things. Someone asked, is it a good idea to reach out to relevant LinkedIn profiles and ask to shadow? Yes, I would. Be very respectful when you reach out to folks. But yes, that's a really good tip. And thank you for bringing that out in your question. You can definitely do that. So say if you find a position that you're interested in and you find someone who actually works there, okay, you can message them. Sometimes you can message people without actually being connected to them and ask them if they can if you can shadow them. Ask them, like they may not, because to them you are a stranger. If they're not comfortable with that, you maybe think about asking them, can they set up a virtual shadow, or is there someone that they recommend that you can talk with to learn more about what they do? Do they have any resources or tips for you? I think that's a great idea. I have done that many years ago. So that was one resource. And the second resource is Indeed. You treat it the same way that you, like I just showed you on LinkedIn. This is another resource because folks was like, I don't know where to look. I don't know where to go to look for jobs and how to actually find the jobs. And you use it the same way. Use Indeed, LinkedIn. There are a couple of other job board sites. Use it the same way you would use Google, or if you go into Shein or Fashion Nova and you know you want a red A-line skirt and you type in red A-line skirt. Use it the same way. Informatics, keyword, digital health, digital strategy could be a keyword. Analysts. A lot of positions sometimes will have analysts in the job title. You can search for analysts. Matter of fact, like, why don't we do that? Let's see if any analyst positions. Because like I was saying earlier, sometimes in these organizations, they'll have nurses working in these positions, but there's not actually nurse in the job title. It may be data analyst, application analyst, business analyst, etc. So analyst is another keyword that comes up. And let's see how many job results. And I'm just searching analysts in just Wichita with only 25-mile radius because I didn't want to get thousands of results. But even searching for positions just in Wichita, Kansas, within a 25-mile radius, you guys see I got 238 jobs. That's a lot of jobs. So And then you can read through. Let's see, do they also have, yep, and they have the same thing. You can put, okay, only show me entry-level positions. Okay. Because I know some folks are in say, okay, I don't have any experience. You can search for that. But to me, informatics is a good keyword. Informatics, digital health analyst, etc. And again, you can put your filter on. Let's see, these looks like, oh, they all for these, at least within Wichita. They want either mid-level. Oh, here's an entry-level position. Let's see. This one is a computer support. Oh, actually, a little bit more came up too. Data informatics analyst, and it's remote. Okay. This one, and here's the range. Oh, now that range don't pay to me, but I know there are nurses who are making more than that. But at any rate, just to get you guys started. So I hope that helped y'all. I wanted to keep this under an hour, and I know I did not get to all the questions. I got so many questions and comments, and I know I did not get to all of them, but at least hope I was able to answer. I think I was able to answer everyone's questions that were here on live. I said I was going to go through and answer all the questions that were left on the TikTok comments that I didn't get to answer, and I didn't get to all of them, and I apologize. I try to do as many as I can. So before I end, and welcome to the new folks over on TikTok. Thank you again for the almost 2,000 likes. Thank you so much. I'm glad you were all able to join. If you can, and if you're new here on YouTube Live, please like the video. I appreciate that. Liking the video does two things. Number one, it helps this reach more nurses who are looking to transition into tech. Nurses, please know that you have options. And I say that with, I can say that confident. Like I know there are like CVS, and again, I'm not endorsing any of these companies. I know there are companies right now that are hiring. If you're at the bedside and you get frustrated and you're like, I'm looking to transition, and you feel like, here, let me see. I just want to give, as I close, I want to give you guys a little bit of encouragement. I got some new people. Oh, folks said missed most of unfortunately, but thank you for being here for us, MBV 1010. You're very welcome. The video is going to be posted on my YouTube Live, so if you missed it, you can definitely come to my YouTube page, Computer and Coin. I'm going to post it there. You can go back and watch it. Let's see. Someone asked how to get into tech. There are RN, BSN. Hey, welcome. I watched it. I talked about that a little bit earlier, how to transition into tech, and I gave some tips on the replay. So you definitely go back and watch the replay. And I may do, I think I did a video a while ago on transitioning into tech, but maybe I'll update that video since that seems to be a question that I know I got a lot of, how to transition, and maybe I'll put a different angle on it, like on how to transition. But I want to close. Let's see, any other last questions before I just give y'all some encouragement? Any last questions? Wow, we're almost at 2,000 likes. I thank y'all so much. I really, really do appreciate it. I just want to give y'all some encouragement, okay, before I get off, because a lot of people have poured into me, and I always want to make sure. Some of my mentors have always, who have helped me, said, when you get to the point where you can help people, pour back into them. So I want to pour back into you guys. So both on YouTube Live and then also on TikTok. You guys, you definitely have options. Okay. I did not learn about opportunities for working in tech or informatics or being in STEM until I had been a nurse for I was 4 years in, and then I had completed 1 whole year of nurse practitioner school. And I just found out about it by a flyer that was posted in my nursing department. So if you are a nursing student, new grad, or even if you're an experienced nurse, I feel like you're very lucky and blessed, because when I got into it almost 19 years ago, we didn't have all the resources on the internet that they are available now. I found out about a flyer on a bulletin board. So I know I'm aging myself, and I don't mind. Yes, I'm a little bit older, and that's okay. But you guys, I want to encourage you that you have options, and there are a lot of resources out there, and there are nurses out there, okay, where you can find information. Please do not get discouraged, okay? So I really hope this live helped y'all tonight. My email address will be posted in the description on the YouTube. If you, for TikTok folks, my email is computerandcoin@gmail.com. You can email me. I try to get back to folks when I can. I know sometimes folks send me DMs and things like that. My Cash App is the same, Computer and Coin. If you feel so moved to send something to Cash App, I appreciate it. It's not required because I know what the situation is right now. But if you find it helpful, you found this information helpful, I appreciate any Cash Apps. And if you at least like and share the video, liking is free. Liking the video on TikTok, to my TikTokies and to my YouTubers, liking is free via the like button. Liking. Let's see, paying is free via the like button. I want to make sure I say that right. So if all you can do is liking, that's enough. That helps me out so much. You can subscribe to the channel, subscribing. You can send me messages. And again, just keep all your comments and your questions. If you send me a message, just keep it respectful and inclusive. I try to keep this as a very respectful and inclusive environment. I don't tolerate any disrespect. You know, I accept all types of nurses and people of all backgrounds. So just make sure you keep it respectful. So I hope it helps. So I'm going to sign off. I'm glad you guys were able to join. Please, if you haven't done it for yourself, please do something nice for yourself. Okay. If you can, because as nurses, RNs, LPNs, LVNs, CNAs, nurse practitioners, clinical nurse specialists, we work so hard, and I'm talking to both my TikTok folks and my YouTubers. And thank you TikTok for all the likes and shares. I really do appreciate it. But as nurses, we work so hard and we pour so much into our patients and their loved ones. And we put a lot, it's a lot of emotional labor that we do in our jobs as nurses at the bedside, in peri-op, in home health, in wound care, in infection prevention. We do a lot. We care for people, and nursing can be a very emotional job, no matter what type of nursing that you're doing. So as you're pouring and doing so much and caring for your patients, and if you have families and you're caring for your families, please make sure that you're also caring for yourselves. And you're taking time to pour back into yourselves as much as you pour into other people. So as you're doing nice things for other people, please do make sure that you're being nice to yourself and you're being kind to yourself and you're saying nice things to yourself. And, you know, you just do a check-in and just kind of, I know I've done it in other videos. I'm like, have you done something nice for yourself? TikTok, folks on TikTok, no, I say that a lot. I say, have y'all done something nice for yourself today? And I really mean that when I ask that. Okay, because I know a lot of nurses, you know, the burnout is real. I have burnt out in the past. I know what it feels like, and I know what it's not like. I know what it's like not to pour back into myself. So I really encourage y'all to do something nice and talk nice to yourselves and show yourself some grace. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Oh Lord, we went an hour and a half, Chad. I did not mean to go this long, but thank y'all so much for joining tonight. Thank y'all all for the nice comments. Thank y'all for, we made it to 2,000 likes. Oh my God, I have never gotten that many viewers. Never gotten that many viewers and likes on a video before, a live video before. So I thank y'all so much. And that's it, y'all. That's all I got tonight. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.